Okie dokie, we are going to continue reading our new Magic Tree House book, Hour of the Olympics. Friends, I need you guys to stay on your pockets, and I need you to take your hands off of the table, because anytime I'm recording and you bump the table, no, friends, so under the table is probably not a better idea. There's lots of space you can find. Yeah. If I'm trying to tell you that bumping the table bumps our camera, under the table is probably not the better idea. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, we are going to be reading chapter 2 today, called Any Girls Here? I don't know. Jack opened his eyes. Warm sunshine streamed into the treehouse. We sure don't need the flashlight here, he said. Look, Morgan gave us clothes like the ones we wore in Pompeii, said Annie. Jack looked down. His clothes were similar to the ones he'd worn in the Roman town of Pompeii, a tunic and sandals. He also had a leather bag in place of his backpack again. Annie looked out the window. And we landed in an olive tree, just like in Pompeii, said Annie. Jack looked out the window. He caught his breath. Are we in the wrong place? He asked. I don't know, said Annie. Look past the trees. Doesn't it look like a big fair? Jack looked. Annie was right. Past the olive grove was a field filled with white tents. Beyond the field were red brick buildings and columns and huge crowds of people. What's going on? Jack asked. He pulled the research book out of his leather bag. He found a picture of the scene outside. Below the pictures were these words. The Olympic Games began in ancient Greece over 2,500 years ago. Every 4 years, more than 40,000 people traveled to Olympia, the town where the festival of athletic games took place. Oh man, Jack whispered. We're at the ancient Olympics. Cool, said Annie. Jack wrote in his notebook. Olympia. First Olympics to take place. Come on, let's go watch, Annie said. She started down the rope ladder. Jack threw his notebook and the research book into his leather bag. Don't forget, we have to get Morgan's story too, he said as he followed Annie. Annie waited as Jack stepped to the ground. Then they walked through the olive grove to where the tents were. Jack heard pipe music and smelled food roasting over fires. Groups of men talked excitedly to one another. That's funny, said Annie. I don't see any girls here. Oh, sure there are girls, said Jack. Where? Said Annie. Show me. Jack looked around, but he only saw men and boys. No girls or women at all. Then he saw an outdoor theater. A woman was standing on the stage. She had yellow hair and a purple tunic. There, said Jack, pointing. What's she doing? Asked Annie. A soldier was on the stage with her. He wore a long cape. A helmet with a red crest hid his face. The woman and the soldier were waving their arms and talking loudly to one another. I think they're doing a play, said Jack. I'll look. He pulled out the Greek book and found a picture of the theater. Listen, he said. He read aloud. What's up?
You know how in the old times, girls had to do a boy, girls had to clean up after boys, and they had to do all the stuff, and the girls didn't get what they wanted, the boys did.
They weren't respected. Yeah, back in the time when women and girls weren't respected.
That was about that.
You think maybe this is in that time period?
Yeah.
Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right. The Greeks were the first to write plays. Many English words for the theater come from Greek words such as drama, scenery, and chorus. Many Greek plays are still performed today. Hey, Jack, said Annie, you're wrong. When Jack looked up, he saw the woman had pulled off her wig. It was a boy dressed up as a woman. See, even she's a boy, said Annie. That's weird. Said Jack. He went on reading. Are you ready? This is going to make sense. A few actors would play many different parts in the same play. Women were not allowed to act, so men played the female roles too. So they didn't even think that women should be allowed to be in plays. So when they needed a woman's role in a play, they had the boys or the men dress up. That's not fair, said Annie. What if a woman wanted to be in a play? Don't worry about it, said Jack. He put the book away. Let's just take a peek at the Olympics, then find our story. He nudged Annie to move along. Just then, he heard a voice. Why do you have that at the carpet? Wait! They turned around. A man with a short white beard was walking towards them. Hello, said the man. He was looking right at Annie. Who are you? Who are you? Annie asked boldly. I love Annie. Chapter 3, The Secret Poet. The bearded man smiled at Annie. My name is Plato, he said. Plato, said Jack. That name sounded familiar. You may have heard of me, the man said. I'm a philosopher. What's that mean, said Annie. A lover of wisdom, said Plato. Wow, said Annie. Plato smiled at her. It's odd to see a girl walking so bravely through Olympia, he said. You must be from far away. We're Jack and Annie, said Annie, and we come from Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. It's very far away. Plato looked puzzled. Annie turned to Jack. I think we should show him our cards, she said in a low voice. He's a lover of wisdom. Jack nodded. He reached into his bag and took out the secret library cards. He showed them to Plato. The letters M and L that stood for Master Librarians glittered on the cards. Amazing, said Plato. I've never met such young Master Librarians. Why have you come to Olympia? Riley?
I know what also started the M and L.
What?
Working with friends.
Wow, good connection. Yeah. Jack pulled out the piece of paper with the title of the story. We're looking for this story, he said. Oh, yes, said Plato softly. This was written by a brilliant poet, a friend of mine, in fact. Do you know where the poet lives? Asked Jack. Very near here, said Plato. Will you take us there? Asked Annie. Yes, but I must warn you, never tell anyone who the poet is, said Plato. It's a secret. We won't, whispered Annie. Plato led them away from the outdoor theater.
Could they tell Morgan Le Fay?
Morgan Le Fay is
Morgan Le Fay might be Plato.
They started down a dirt road. It was crowded with people heading to the games. Plato stopped at the door of a sand-colored house with a brick roof. Chris. He opened the door and let Jack and Annie into an empty courtyard. Wait here, he said. He disappeared through a doorway. Jack and Annie looked around. Rooms opened onto the sunny courtyard, and everything was quiet. The people who live here must have gone to the games, said Annie. Yeah, I bet you're right, said Jack. He pulled out the Greek book and found a picture of a house. He read aloud. Men and women lived in separate parts of a Greek house. Women spent most of their time spinning and weaving and taking care of the kitchen. Boys were sent away to school when they were 7. Girls were not allowed to go to school. Girls can't go to school, said Annie. Well, then how do they learn to read and write? At that moment, Plato returned. With him was a young woman dressed in a long tunic with a colored border. She was holding a scroll. Annie smiled, a big smile. Finally, she said, another girl. Jack and Annie, meet our secret poet, said Plato. Okie dokie. We will learn more about that secret poet in chapter 4. Not fair. Who do you think says that?
Annie.
I think so too. We'll keep reading tomorrow. Virtual friends, thank you guys for joining us. See you tomorrow.